Let's start with module 1 of our subject building services and repairs. So the module 1 deals with various machineries. So now let's discuss what is a machine. It is simply an apparatus which uses mechanical power to perform various tasks and helps in reducing human efforts. So you see any machine, it basically helps us in doing our tasks in less physical energy, right? So we use various buildings in our daily life like our own home, the college in which we study, the railway station or bus stop which we use to reach from one place to the other. So if you see all these buildings, you will see the machines like lifts, escalators, hot water boilers, pumps, and generators. Apart from these common machines, there are some machines which are used at the time of construction of a building. So these machines are concrete mixers, DC and AC motors, concrete vibrators, and conveyor belts. So we'll be studying all these machines in the module number 1. So the first type of machine and the most common type of machine which we are going to study here is the lift. So what is a lift? It is a type of vertical transport equipment that moves people or goods between different floors or levels of a building and other structures. So the necessity of lift in multi-storied building has been so well recognized that no multi-storied building is planned without proper provision for lifts. So if you put a plan for approval to a local authority, if your lifts are not planned properly as per the building codes, then your plan itself will not be approved by the local authority like municipal corporation or PWD or SIDCO. So as per National Building Code, every building having height more than 13 meters need to have a lift with minimum carrying capacity of 6 persons. So that is the National Building Code. Then the lifts are generally powered by electric motors that are either drive cables or pump hydraulic fluid to raise a cylindrical piston like a jack. So we can classify lifts into two categories. First category is the hydraulic lift and second category is the traction lift. We can also classify the lift as per their use. In the classification based on the drive system, the hydraulic lift works on the principle of hydraulic piston. Here, a hydraulic ram is located at the base of the lift, which pushes a piston which is attached to the bottom of the lift car. So the movement in the lift piston will cause up and down movement of the lift car. Whereas in case of a traction lift, the mechanism of pulley and gears, by the action of rotation and counterbalance, they move the lift carriage up and down in the lift well. Here, let's understand the basic components of a traction lift. So first, this orange highlight, this room is known as a machine room or lift machine room. This is located at the top of the lift shaft and it accommodates the winding machine and the mechanism which makes the lift run. Then the second most important component is the elevator car. So this elevator car, it is a part of an elevator that includes the platform, enclosure, car frame and door. So this elevator car will enable people to move from one floor to the other floor. Then next is the shaft, which is also known as a lift shaft. So shaft is the enclosure in which the lift moves. Then we have counterweight or balance weight. So this counterweight, which runs on the rails, will so this counterbalance is moved by this pulley, and through a seesaw action, the lift car will move in a direction opposite to that of the counterweight. Then we call this bottom part lift pit. So it is the part in which servicing and lift safety buffers are installed. And then this is the machine beam. So it is simply a steel beam which holds or which rests the entire lift machine. So let's understand the working principle of the traction lift. So these lift, they work on the principle of seesaw. The car is raised and lowered by a traction steel ropes. These ropes are attached to the elevator car and they are looped around a sheave. This is the sheave, and connected to an electric motor. So this is the motor here. When the motors turn one way, the sheave raises the elevator, and when the motor turns the other way, sheave lowers the elevator. Typically, the sheave and the motor and the control system are all housed in a lift machine room, which is located generally at the terrace of the building. The ropes that lift the car are also connected to a counterweight which hangs on the other side of the sheave. This is the counterweight here. So the counterweight and car, they are perfectly balanced. Hence, the motor only has to overcome the friction. The weight on the other side does most of the work. In gearless elevators, the motor rotates the sheave directly, and in gear elevators, the motor turns a gear train that rotates the sheave. So these lifts have major six component parts. First is the control system. Second is electric motor. Third is sheave. Fourth is counterweight. And fifth are guide rails. And sixth is the automatic rescue device, also known as ARD. So the control system, it is a chip based unit which works as the brain of the lift. Electric motor, its function is to drive the sheave in clockwise and anti-clockwise directions. Sheave is simply a pulley which is having grooves around the circumference to grip the hoist ropes, so that when you rotate the sheave, the ropes also move with the sheave. Then the counterweight, it hangs on the other side of sheave. It weighs about the same as car, which is filled to the 40% capacity. Guide rails are fixed along the sides of the elevator shaft. They keep the car and counterweight from swaying back and forth. They also work with safety system to stop the car in case of an emergency. Then the most important part, it is the ARD. So now automatic rescue device is to be installed in every lift, which is a compulsion now. The ARD equipment operates automatically upon occurrence of a power failure. It drives the hoist gear and brings the car to the nearest floors and open the door automatically, so that passengers who are stranded in the lift because of power failure, they reach to the safest and nearest floor. Now let's have a look at the hydraulic lifts. So these lifts have five major components: tank, motor, valve, actuator or hydraulic cylinders, and the automated rescue device. So these lifts are very simple as compared to the traction lifts. So this tank will hold the liquid which is used in the system. The liquid is usually oil based because they are non-compressible and have a self lubrication action. Motor will push oil into the cylinder to lift the elevator car. Valves will control the pressure, and when it is open, it reduces the pressure on the oil, which will lower the lift car. And when it is closed, the pressure increases, which raises the lift car. Hydraulic cylinders can provide controlled and precise linear displacement of the piston to raise and lower the lift car. And automatic rescue device, the function is same as we just discussed in case of a traction lift. So we already seen how the traction lift and hydraulic lift work. This is a summary of their differences. You can refer it. Now, lift classified as per their usage. So the first type is passenger lift, which we most commonly see. So passenger elevator is designed to move people between floors of a building, and their capacity is related to the available floor space and the expected population of the building. Up to 10 floors, these buildings operate at a speed of 1 meter per second, and for buildings which are taller than 10 floors, the speed ranges from 2.5 meter per second to 10 meter per second. The second type of lift are goods lift or freight lift. They are used to transport heavy vehicle and other goods, but they depend on types of good transported. Then vehicle lifts. So these are specially designed to lift cars in a multi-story car park or in car showrooms. They can be of traction type or hydraulic type. Then fourth type is the dumbwaiter lifts. They are small freight elevators. They are intended to carry food, not actual passengers. They are often installed in restaurants, schools, hospitals, where the height of this car is generally zero point 0.8 meter to 1.2 meters, and this lift will terminate in the kitchen of the building. Then scissor lifts, they are self-contained, they can be easily moved to where they are needed, and they are excellent for indoor as well as outdoor and construction and installation applications. When the lifts were started being used in buildings, people with disabilities faced it very difficult to operate the lift. That's why the National Building Code made some special provisions or special features which are compulsory to be installed when you want to have a usable lift for a building. So these special features are discussed here. So the lift car needs to accommodate at least one wheelchair with a passenger in it. So for the wheelchair to enter the lift, the door should be minimum 900 mm or higher or greater than that. The internal depth of width should accommodate entire wheelchair comfortably. That's why the minimum space required is 1100 mm, and along with the wheelchair at least one person should be able to stand. That's why the internal width should be kept minimum 2000 mm or 2 meters. Then for people who are using a wheelchair, a handrail should be provided which should be minimum 600 mm long, and it should be installed at 800 mm to 1000 mm above the floor level. The lift lobby should be of inside measurement of 1.8 meters to 1.8 meters minimum, and the time of automatically closing door should be minimum 5 seconds, and the closing speed should not exceed 0.25 meters per second. The interior of the cage shall be provided with a device that audibly indicates the floor in case the person who is traveling in the lift is blind. The cage has reached and indicate that the door for the cage is opened or closed. Then about the control buttons, the center of all control buttons shall be positioned between 900 mm to 1200 mm from the floor. Also, a telephone should be installed to enable communication during a breakdown or an emergency situation. There should also be a buzzer or warning alarm so that if a person is stuck inside the lift, he can raise the alarm and the person can be rescued.